Welcome to the Creep Podcast. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Still see the spike.
Are you comfortable with us putting this up on the podcast?
Yeah, that's fine. This will probably change entirely.
Yeah, let's do it.
Anything happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone put on their radio voice.
Yeah.
Hello.
And he's going in for the reading.
Hunter, what is this story about? It's me, Chance, the handsomest man in comic books.
Oh my god,
After the Mighty Boosh. You've ever seen the Mighty Boosh?
No.
You've seen the IT crowd?
No.
Oh, man.
He sounds like that guy.
Anyway.
So it's right now. It's about a mediocre folk singer who gets abducted by aliens, and that's pretty much all I want
All
to
you
tell
need
you.
to
I'm in.
know.
Let's hear it. Let's go.
Yeah. So
Do you want us to read it or you want to read it?
no, I mean,
Sure.
I mean, would you like? If you want to read it.
If you insist.
Are there different parts? Do we need maybe a...
No, not really. I mean, there's dialogue between him and another person, but it's not a huge deal. It's very short, so
All right.
What a thing.
the grammar might be weird.
I'll make it work, man.
Just so everybody.
He crooned, uncomfortably perched so the microphone at his waist would pick up the thumbed guitar, and appeared to those in the bar like some sort of pro. The old man in the audience, who was near enough to death to understand real music when he heard it, contemplated shedding a tear. 2 tables away, a couple fiddled with their coffee, uncomfortable and oblivious to Huron's last song. There was a distinct finality to it, that song. 2.5 years of shuffling from coffee shop to bar to coffee shop to get only passing nods from anyone who meant anything in the industry, which was fine in the end. Alien abduction becomes rather cliche when the abductee is a famed musician. Well, Huron said at the cables he rapped. He faced the stage. 3 people and a barista. That does it. The old man staggered out of the coffee shop to make a call, and the couple dishonestly held hands. Huron let the harmonica holder hang around his neck and prodded the front door with his knee, passing the old man on the way to his car. A slap, a flash, and a number of other things that Huron missed took place, at the end of which he awoke in what looked to be an old-timey parlor. On a wide chair opposite the coffee table sat one of the most convincing Elvis impersonations Huron had ever seen. This was actually quite a feat, considering that Huron spent most of his childhood in Memphis. "Good morning," the man said. "Or evening. Which time zone were you from?" Central?" Huron blinked at the strange yellow lights that colored the room. Who are you?" Huron said, vaguely noticing that his guitar was nowhere to be seen. "Ah, morning then. At least relative to you. It is 1 p.m. standard time here. I'm Elvis Presley." "Well, I can see that, but who are you really?" Elvis paused, unsure of how to continue. "Elvis Presley." "Like hell. I suppose we're on your spaceship, right?" "Well, no," the king stammered. "Then where the hell are we? And why shouldn't I beat your ass right now?" Huron said, the words eked out unthreateningly.
I'm sorry.
It's not prepared.
"I meant, no, this isn't my spaceship." At this point, Huron decided it was best to leave the uncannily lifelike and evidently institutionally insane imposter behind and try to get out. He burst towards the door, which opened in the way he'd seen doors open in Star Trek. Huron might have thought this was all an elaborate part of fake Elvis's delusion, had a 7-foot-tall woman, who appeared by all indications to be what mythology described as a dryad, stepped into the room wearing a lab coat and carrying a kitten. "Oh dear, Elvis, you were meant to notify me when he woke," the dryad said, her voice wavering, leaves falling from an oak tree. Huron promptly fainted. That was charming. Yeah, that seems really cute, like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy kind of feel.
Yeah. Where it is.
Well, anybody have any comments, since we're a sophisticated podcast that talks about these things regularly? For instance,
And well known.
Colin, put down that rum and coke for just a split second and put out your cigar and give us your opinion on this.
I suppose I could. I thought it was pretty cool. It was an interesting take on the whole alien idea, especially that Elvis Presley was up there too. Like, that's where I've been all these years.
Is Elvis, and the idea right now is that these aliens every so often have to have like this arena battle to like keep their freedom from another thing. and they always take a human to do it because they don't have the propensity for violence that we do. And so Elvis was the last person, and the reason they pick artists is because they're relatively easy to fool.
They're also extremely violent.
The violent folk singer.
Man, you really made my emotions boil this time.
Is that a minor chord?
Yeah.
There's a couple bits that I liked. I liked the couple unconvincingly holding hands.
Yeah.
And describing him as crow-like was a very efficient way of giving us an idea. And I liked his name.
Kind of like the lake, right?
Yeah, spelled the same way.
Okay. I thought that was interesting. It does have that central time zone feel to it with the lake's name.
Yeah.
Right?
The idea is that the aliens, at least assuming he succeeds, would then thank him by naming Lake Huron after him ahead of time. So they would go back in time. Like they let him know, like, oh yeah, we named Lake Huron after you. And then there'd be the end. You'd be like, wait, so they don't time travel what? And then there's never a result. At least as of now, that could all get thrown out eventually.
No, I actually like. Wait, hold on. Where are we now? Do you kind of like that too? What are your impressions?
Mine? Chance Oberlander? We should use our names because of how...
Chance Oberlander of Chance Wyatt picture books.
Call me Mr. Wyatt. So, I was going to say...
Gross.
I'd like them, not that you have to make likable characters or anything like that, but I would like them more if there wasn't that line about the old man contemplating shedding a tear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, anytime I read a book or something and it's just, the guy is like, whatever the protagonist is like, there's some kind of aside about how they're special.
Sure.
And I'm so tired of special people. You know what I mean? Like, just the idea of him being kind of a washed up, half-assed barista singing, person.
Not very good.
Great. I love it. And then if he's secretly a really wonderful musician, you know what I mean? But unappreciated, then I'm like, I don't like this guy anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Keep it mediocre.
Yeah, that would be that's just like a story thing. It was lovely writing.
Well, the contemplative part sort of assumes that the guy, he's thinking about doing it. Like, yes, actually thinking about shedding a tear. Like, it's sort of like that old British, it's sort of that old British idea where it's like, oh, this person's like on the ground, you should cry for them, sort of thing, even though, it's sort of like the old ideas about, like, you should cry even though it doesn't, even though it's a very pretentious...
Good manners is what we call it.
Yeah, there we go.
Clapping even if they suck.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
It sounded a little bit more like that, I guess.
Sure.
Too far.
But I mean, we could just as easily have that line in there about the old man and have it be that it reminded him of really good. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't have to have this guy be the chosen one. Do you know what I mean? Like, sort of.
And that's actually definitely not what the idea is that he's...
Right, which makes me think I'd like to read a story, but he's not really great. Did anyone... I'm sure some of you have read Slaughterhouse-5.
Oh, yeah.
So the moment when he gets abducted for the first time, do you remember that moment? It's great.
It's been a while.
All right, so this character in Slaughterhouse-5 gets abducted by aliens, and the very first thing he asks is, "So why did you abduct me?" And they're like, "Well, that's a very human way of looking at it." Because there was nothing special about him, and that was so neat to me. So anyway,
you guys look all the same anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway.
I liked how you introduced the concept of alien abduction kind of before it happens. Like, you're talking about he's a folk singer, like, but it'd be cliche if he was a well-known star, and so that's like the reader kind of gets a hint at that point that the story is a little bit. It's not just about a singer. That's something. Lo and behold, a few paragraphs later, the slap and the flash.
I would have liked to have had some line in there describing. I mean, the yellow light was all I got.
Yeah, well, and the idea is that he's in, like, they have the waiting room that's supposed to be like your break-in for when you, like, set the universe. So they have this room that's really human.
Okay.
The lights are a little messed up, and so then he steps out and everything's drastically different.
Okay.
So the idea is that he's like, this seems like someone's dressing up this room to look like it was designed by a human. But
well, in writing terms, I would have said hang a lantern up, like make it more clear. Because to me, it was just like, are they in a parlor? I mean, I think they're in a spaceship probably, but it just says it's like an old-timey parlor, which I like the term old-timey a lot. But I think just some other line in there about how, I don't know, the dartboard, there were no numbers on it, or you know, there was a
that would be really
something that makes it look fake.
13 hours on the clock.
Oh, you guys ever seen this Twilight Zone episode where they wake up in the house and they start to notice that the house is like a fake house?
Yeah.
Oh, and they go outside and they bump into the tree and the tree falls over because it's just on like a wood.
Oh man!
And they're like, oh fuck. Yeah.
I've seen that replicated in other stuff. Like
Okay.
Rick and Morty, I think they had an episode about that.
That was a killer. You know what I'm talking about.
I've never seen it.
Really?
No, I'm a big
I
fan of
have
Twilight
the
Zone.
series on DVD.
Wasn't that the one where they can't get outside the fence?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that was, and it turns out, of course, that they were. Can I tell everyone and the podcasting audience? Spoiler. Aliens. There was aliens abducted them, obviously. Because it was a
Boom.
Okay.
Aliens.
Okay, we're good.
I'm bringing my chalkboard thing from home.
No, I specially made my hands so that they would make this sound every single time.
Which plays the baby puzzle.
Oh.
Broke it there! I broke them.
Let's all critique Colin's hands.
They could have used work.
Well, I'm satisfied with how that went. Does anybody have anything else to say? We should have one character who's like a real sassy, tells it like it is kind of character.
Can we just have like the creep, like the
like a mascot?
yeah, like that.
I find it, need a little bit more women. Something like that.
Somebody with more amputees in there.
Need a little bit more women.
That's my impression of creepy people.
Well, that's just kind of rude. All creepy people talk like that.
Sorry, man. Sorry. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I'll take a number 3. No lettuce. Like, fuck you, creep. Just trying to order some food here. How you doing? Jesus.
Judgment.
Well, anyway, I thought it was very promising.
Yeah.
Cute. Is there, so the idea would be that this is going to be a novella like you'd actually publish? And okay. Is there like a grander, thrust that you can tell us about the story? Like kind of premise or motive or
I'm not
secret?
I'm not entirely sure. I think most of it is going to be the comparative, the idea that if the scales of biology that exist on Earth as far as like what holds meaning interspecies wise, so like what an ant does isn't terribly compelling to us most of the time. If that scale is true universally, seeing that from an alien's perspective, seeing the insignificance and the lack of compelling narrative in what humans do.
Anybody remember that line in Watchmen where they ask which political party John Osterman, the Dr. Manhattan, supports, and the guy says back to him, which ants do you like, red or black? I thought of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Though mostly humorous about it. And Huron, I think mostly is going to blow off. Every time that like comes up for him, he'll be like, oh, okay, and like look away, and refuse to acknowledge it. And that'll be...
Everything was beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shame.
That
Someone's read the first bit.
I know a girl who has... Oh, you met her. So It Goes... No, you didn't. Kirsten has So It Goes tattooed on her neck.
So It Goes.
That's pretty badass.
Is that from that too?
That's from Slaughterhouse Five.
Yeet.
Yeah, the point is...
Thanks for listening.